It is an exciting day. How are you, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Engendered, a show where we discuss everything about the female gender. I am Victoria Agbi.
Many thanks for joining us on another episode on the Engendered show right here on Kaftan TV, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Confidence Rueben. We will go on a short break, and when we come back, the Engendered show will continue. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
CFR, the black comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's Kaftan TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching Kaftan TV.
Please keep watching Kaftan TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the black comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that...
Welcome again, and if you're just joining us, you're still watching Engendered, and you're right on time, viewers, because, well, the show is just about to begin. And, well, today it's going to be an exciting one, because we have our guest in the house, and she is, well, a remarkable one, an amiable one. And before you get to meet her, let's keep you on a suspense a bit. Although I already identified the gender, albeit let's hold or keep her on a suspense for now. Let me take you through what we're going to be doing today. We'll be discussing women empowerment, but we're going to be looking at it from a different perspective. Often we discuss about female gender, what matters relating to the female gender, but today we'll be discussing female empowerment. Now I'm going to read the background of what we'll be discussing today, and it is as thus. More than 340 million women and girls are projected to live in extreme poverty by 2030. This represents a staggering 8% of the global female population surviving on less than USD $2.15 a day. Now, only 61% of prime working age women participate in the labor force compared to 91% of prime working age men. This affects both economic growth and societal progress. In 2019, for each dollar men earned in labor income, women earned only 51%. This means social protection, access to distant work, and other support systems are urgently needed to provide a path out of poverty. Now, today we'll be looking at ways women can be connected to financial resources to eradicate poverty. And we'll be doing this with a Rueben, vast in her field, a seasoned expert in financial services and construction industries with over 24 years of experience across various fields. Well, her expertise spans the banking industry, projects management, facilities management, policy making, strategic planning and analysis, construction management and administration, and all aspects of construction and infrastructure business and practice. Well, Dr. Eke has held numerous notable positions, including 7 twice as a council member of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. She is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors and other professional bodies. And lastly, Dr. Eke is happily married to His Royal Majesty Ifeanyi Eke, and they are blessed with lovely children. Hope I pronounced the AK correctly. Good evening, ma.
You got it right. Good
evening. It's good to have you join us.
I'm so delighted to be
Such
here.
pedigree.
Wow.
Thank you very
The
much.
profile.
Like, it's plenty.
Do you know, I had to like, this is not all, I'm sorry.
Really?
We could do a whole program
Wow.
on her profile.
Wow. Woo.
Don't flatter me.
I had to just take one paragraph. This is just one paragraph of her profile. It's so much.
Thanks
it
for
means you're
joining us,
doing well,
Ma.
ma.
Yes.
Thank
We're
you for
really
having me.
grateful.
Thank you.
To be here.
I wanted to ask how you're navigating the cost of living crisis, but when I took a glance at you for the second time, I changed my mind. You know why? You look like someone that is in charge of the economy. Whoa!
We're trying.
You
We're
look
trying.
good.
Oh my
You
God,
must always-
confidence.
As a woman, we must always find a way to navigate the process
Yes.
and keep moving.
Mm,
Yes.
indeed. All right, viewers, this is also to remind you that you can be part of today's discussion. So let's hear your opinion. What you think should be the right ways to empower women in terms of aiding resources or policies or mentoring support or whatever. You could be part of this discussion by calling us via the numbers that will be displaying on your screen. Well, Ma,
Yes.
you heard the background I read earlier. So in terms of empowerment, we often hear women say women call for the need for empowerment for their fellow gender. We hear men who are he for she's advocate for women for empowerment. Why do you think it's important that we empower women?
You see, there's a saying that said, if you educate a woman, you educate the nation.
That's right.
So if you empower a woman, the empowerment goes from family to the nation. As we can see, there's nothing that is given to a woman that she doesn't multiply. So it's very important that we empower women in all aspects of our social life, economic life, and that have to come in where there must be institutional and legal framework that be put in place to support women to empower them. There are other areas that that women are doing well, and all they need is a push from fellow women by seeing people that have done it well. And I must tell you, in the banking industry, you can see the rave that is going on.
Yes, I saw
Over
it recently.
7 to 8 banks now have their
CEOs.
CEOs as women.
Yeah.
So they
Beautiful
hope
women for
beautiful women, intelligent, well-accomplished women. So with that, we can see that the he for she men that believe in empowerment of women are beginning to see that women can bring something to the table. They have something to tell. They have something to do. So we are being hopeful that with that in hand, they'll be able to put policies in place in the banking sectors that will favor women.
Let's break the English, for the purpose of some of our viewers.
Yeah.
What is women empowerment? Like
Women-
in simple terms.
Women empowerment, you need to cascade it down. When you see a career woman and you empower her, it simply means you are giving her the power to be the best, to do what she knows how to do, and impart lives. So you're not restricting her, you're not telling her what to do, you are telling her that, look, I believe in you, go ahead and showcase yourself and do well. That's at that level. At the lower level, when you come down empowering people, is to give them skill sets. The skill set training. There are people that have fantastic gifts, but they didn't go to school. So what do? You gather the community, get somebody that will use their local language to teach them that they become an authority in that skill or services that are rendering to their community. That's empowerment in a nutshell.
Okay, now you made mention about women breaking the gap. For instance, we see the new CEOs who are women in the banking industry. Okay, you agree with me that it wasn't like that from the beginning. Even when women are being empowered, they're empowered to perhaps be in the kitchen, bake cake, and even in politics, when you see women, they're either as women leader, leading other women, you don't see them pushing forth, coming outside to perhaps do things differently. What do you think has changed over time?
Without mentioning them, there are women organizations that I belong, that I serve in their boards. All they do is to push women, let them sit down on the table, prepare them to be in the boards, prepare them to be executives, prepare them to be in the politics. And these foundational members that did this are all accomplished women. So we look up to them. and see how they've done it, and we encourage ourselves to be better and come in. Because they have created a path, they have cleared the way for younger ones to come. So it's all for you to now identify who that can be a role model to you and see her trajectory, her steps, what she has achieved, how she achieved it, how she conquered the male-dominated environment and got to where she got to. That's how it come about.
All right.
One class of women or set of women who are often, neglected or sidelined when it comes to financial empowerment are those that are uneducated. Now, what best approach would you prefer in order to involve this set of women when it comes to empowerment?
I'm sure you know there are some non-profit NGOs that are all over the nation.
Okay.
Some people have taken it upon themselves to identify with that caliber of people. So they do training, mentoring, teach them skills so that they can be able to stand and take care of themselves and their family. And there are so many ways they get finances. Somebody will ask, they won't be able to have access to fund. There are crowdfunding that they do, or angel investors. There are some people that identify you that you have this skill, but you don't have the fund. I can partner with you 60%, 40%, but the funding of that the event you want to do, or that craft you want to do, or that services you want to render, will be partner. And that's how such people are being taken over and been, mentored, and they're doing well so far.
Okay, earlier you made mention of the environment or the society being mostly dominated by men. Now, in terms of workplace, most times you find people, although in some organizations it's not like that, albeit we have organizations who still practice, like when you're in male gender, you tend to get the higher pay, and the female gender get less. And in terms of even growth, organizational growth, women are not really considered for some positions. They say, oh, you're a woman, so this position you cannot vie for it in the organization, or perhaps they purposely do not give you the opportunity to grow to that level. Okay, thank God you said you're a director or board director or something. So let's talk about equal pay first of all. What best approach do we use to navigate equal pay in organizations or workplace environments?
I'll just give an example about myself. All my life, I've been in the midst of men professionally. Okay? So it's a daunting task. You have to prove yourself at every point to show that you know what you're doing, you know your onions and all that. And it's a continuous process. Before you come, you're already judged. There's this bias about you're a woman, you can't do this, you are limited to do that. So concerning the pay you're talking about, so far in the public sector, the federal government is doing well in the sense that they don't discriminate on pay cut. You see that in some organized private sector where they assess you by what you can deliver and what you can give before placing you on salary. So the onus lies on us now as a woman or women to break that barrier, to let the organization that is practicing such a thing to know that, look, there's definitely nothing this man can do that I can't do. So because it's constant proving of point all the time for a woman, and it's really tiring. So what such a woman can do is, are you happy where you're working? Do you enjoy what you're doing? If you do these two answers you have given as affirmative, you have to identify men in that organizations that believe in women's cause and get mentors that will advise you, and they'll be able to put a word or two when board decisions are being made. That's the only way. It's not something you can fight. It's not, because some of them are even company policies. So you need people that believe in women on that table or in that board to speak for you and make case. But like I said, there are organizations that have been fighting fighting, and we're seeing the impact going on now.
Okay, let me ask the question
Yes.
before you come in. You made mention of being happy at what you do.
Yes.
Okay, so is it really a requirement for being successful as a woman in perhaps with my craft or something, or my job? Because most times, because of the way the society is, perhaps I might study mass communication, but I don't get a job as perhaps a media person. I do something else. Because I was watching the event that took place the other day. Shakira,
Yes.
Madam Shakira was saying something about, okay, that's not what she studied.
Yes.
Okay, but she's enjoying doing what she's doing. So is it possible to perhaps go separate ways and still be successful in what you do?
Yeah, incidentally, I anchored that program that you're referring to. Interestingly, Shakira's case, where she started her journey, is an organization, and permit me to mention their name because they're wonderful people.
Oh, if you have to pay.
Okay. There's an organization, one of the top-rated banking industry in Nigeria. When you come into their organizations, what they do is they don't care what you read. That's where I even started my journey too.
Wow.
I read quantity surveying. So when you come, you go to operation, from operation, you go to risk, from risk, you go to compliance, from compliance, you go to, that's what they're known for. So you are trained all round of that organization. So they can actually navigate you out of your core competence. So that's what happened to Shakira. Because when she came with a microbiology background, she was being placed where there's a risk management. From risk management, she continued and found herself as a risk expert. So is she enjoying what she's doing? Yes, she's enjoying what she's doing. So that's what can happen to anybody. There's no clear path. Some of us got into some professions by accident. Okay, you wrote JAMB and your score wasn't good. You now said, okay, what's available? They said microbiology is available. You just take it. But deep down there's this craving for something, for journalism, for TV shows and all that. So as you have opportunity to find yourself in that space, you navigate.
When it comes to women empowerment, you will agree with me that there are numerous challenges or barriers one encounters. So what are these challenges or barriers, and how can one surmount these challenges?
The barriers in seeking loans, in getting grants for women, there's this penchant of, can they deliver? Do you have collateral if you go to banks and all that? But the good news is, like I keep saying, it's no longer as bad as it used to be. Because right now, there are organizations like the Tony Elumelu Foundation. They're empowering people, giving seed money. Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, they do that. There's a section of them that do that, identify this cluster of women and empower them. And now, to be fair to the banking industry, they've started having some packages, some products that cater for such class and caliber of people. The microfinance banks, I'm sure those petty trader women, they have access to fund. So they're coming up. It's better now. It's just to enlighten them. There's not much awareness in the communities that don't have access to these banks.
Okay, so let's deviate a bit. You agree with me that in perhaps seeking a career in, let's say, science-related fields, okay, you must have a background in perhaps technology, engineering, and mathematics, and that's why perhaps in this call for STEM. You also agree that most women do not have the heads for, I don't know, no. Is that a stereotype or something?
No,
because I've often heard that.
It's stereotype.
Okay.
I have awesome friends that are into STEM.
Okay.
They are IT gurus. They are in Lagos. They are women.
But there are few. Because that's why they are calling for STEM, like inclusion in terms of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes. Is imagine. These ladies I'm talking about are excellent in what they do. There's one that was an executive director of a particular organization. So you've barred me from mentioning names, so I'll try not to mention names. All she does is to catch them young, you know, catch them young and teach them these things. You won't believe what these kids are doing. And by the time they come into the society with this knowledge, you'll be wild. So I will mention by NIQS Foundation, we teach, we get experts, we train, we mentor. We have all programs that take care of this category. We get experts to come and speak to them and teach. We reach every corner of the society. Including the rural areas, because most times you find these young girls who want to do this thing, but they don't even know how to go about it. The organization that I'm a board member, there's something they call Big Sister Program. This Big Sister Program, they go to schools in the geopolitical zone, 6 geopolitical zone, identify schools, and teach them about hygiene, teach them about self-confidence, teach them about finances. Okay? This organization have already given birth to other sub people that have started doing little things. You know, so is increasing, is getting better, and there's so much awareness now. Indeed. Yeah.
All right. Earlier, when I read your profile, I read the fact that you are a wife and a mother to lovely children.
Yes.
So take us through, with that so much profile you have, take us through how you navigate being this successful in your career, and also be able to perhaps, because I can tell you for free that your husband is proud of you. So it means you are doing well at home too.
Wow.
Because I've met your husband. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You see, you must have a very good support system. Like you said, I'm actually lucky and blessed thanks to my husband. He's one person that believes in you achieving your goals. So from the day I married him, he has always supported every good cause I have. Okay, so when you have such support, because most women, that's what they have problem in. If you don't have a good husband that supports you or believe in your project, you have a problem. That's problem number one. So, but I'm lucky. I'm lucky, you know, that he falls into the category of people that supports, empowers, and elevates you to go be the best. It's just one caveat he used to put whenever I'm going out. He said, be true to yourself. As a career woman, as you're growing and you're getting successful, the tendency that people are going to term your success to, oh, she knows Mr. A, she likes Mr. B, and all that. But once you know yourself, and once you know you're true to yourself, that you're not doing such things, don't bother. Just keep forging. The people that believe in you will believe in you. So that's one. If you have both the minders you have at home and your family members play a major role, because then I was in the bank. It wasn't an easy thing, but my mom was everything. She was there to hold my baby for me, to go for training and come back. So if you have that, you're blessed. So you have to support the minders that are at home. They come and go, but you keep, one day you'll be lucky to have a good one. So, but once you have the support of your husband, sky is your limit.
So any woman who veers for both career and marriage, because I was privileged to be at a conference where the speaker said most times in the society in Africa, women would have to choose between being successful in career or stay unmarried. Either ways.
You can actually have everything. You can have career, you can have a good marriage, you can be beautiful, you can be financially empowered as a woman. Nothing stops you from having these 4 and more. The truth is, how do you juggle these functions? Okay? During my time in the bank, I'll use myself as an example. Every opportunity for me to improve myself, I took that step. It's very inconveniencing, but you have to manage, get that done. You come, now I'm in the public sector. I'm here on my personal capacity, so I'm not speaking for government or any other person. The issue is identify what works for you. Don't leave a vacuum. If, take for instance, you have a boss that doesn't want to give you a job to do, create something. That I'm a DG of NIQS Foundation is born out of my passion, the passion for my profession. And you won't believe it, we are doing very well with the support of the president of the institute, giving us all the backing to move. We are touching Africa, we're holding all the sustainable development goals that affect the built environment. So I'm doing that, I'm doing my day job. The foundation is free of charge. It's my contribution to nation building. I have a home. I try as much as possible to look fine.
You look beautiful.
So you can really have it.
Yeah.
Bottom line, have a good partner. Have a good supportive husband. Then you can really move.
Oh.
All right, based on your office and the experience you've garnered so far, what approach or approaches do you think will be very, very effective when it comes to empowering women at the rural community, looking at the theory of dependability?
Yes. You know, I kept mentioning mentoring. Mentorship is key. We have to have women that are ready to go down to the rural communities. Some state governors' wives are doing that.
Yeah.
Some NGOs are doing that. So I gave you an example earlier where you do angel investor. That is simple. When I go to a village now where they are doing any craft, take for instance this flower, they are doing it, but they don't have fund. And I know it's something that will sell. I know it's something that is good. I can sell the idea to an investor that is interested. In as much as I'm the one trying to mentor them, I don't have to be in the mainstream of running the business. I can help them source for partnership and they get that done. That woman that is doing this, that have not seen 40% of the revenue that will come in, will be more than grateful. So these are the areas that we are trying to advocate for people to please look into it. Abia State government is trying to channel all the rural areas. And the idea is for those investors to come directly to us and see these raw materials that are readily available. Engage our rural communities. So it's working. It's not just about political will to do that. Once there are those openings, things will be much better.
The angel investor you mentioned, is it a kind of a platform?
No, it's not. It's organizations, it's individuals, it's group of people that have funds. That have funds to give, but they have to have a stake in that. Yes,
okay, still talking about the theory of dependability. So there's this notion that's been painted in the minds of most young ladies from the African clans that, oh, the man is the head. Well, it's true. The man is the head. We must never take that place out. But then, for instance, now during the last Engendered show on Tuesday, we read a story of a celebrity who said that 800, I think $800, 800,000 naira is not enough for a lady.
That's a man that earns 800K.
Yes.
A lady shouldn't settle for a man that earns 800K.
I saw that.
So many women now depend so well on their man, or perhaps men generally, whether they are man or not, just to survive. Is that the way to go in terms of empowering women financially?
I'm sure you saw the backlash on that statement. It was wrong. You won't believe there are some people that have actually gone into marriage with little or nothing. It's the capacity of the woman to support and identify. God has given us this innate strength and wisdom as a woman to be able to identify areas that can prosper your family or your community. So, depending on a man is okay, head of a family, in quotes, but there are so many ways you can support that man without making him have the whole burden on his head. If you go out and the kids need something you can afford, you don't have to wait for the man. They know, but they will just appreciate you quietly without. It's only when you come to rub it in that I'm the one that provided this, I'm the one that did this, I'm the one that gave this, if not for me, then the ego on them will come out. Every man don't want their ego to be bruised. So if you know how to, like take for instance, if I want something from my husband, I will call him all the names in this world.
Crazy.
I will call him Your Royal Highness, the King. I will call him everything. He knows. I will still get what I wanted, but it will come out. I will just smile. He will just smile. He knows where I'm going to. And when I want to start, he will just say, "Don't go there. Don't start." So it's understanding. Understand the environment you are in. Understand the kind of husband you are marrying. When you do that understanding, and most people don't have it perfect, but with grace of God and effort, except that man is a terrible person. Otherwise, you can actually touch heart. And you should be able to know before you go into that kind of relationship, please look out for red flags. It's very important.
Very, very.
You see something is wrong, somebody's beating you every time, you've not even married, and you're still there.
So we say they will change.
No, you can't change somebody.
It's not possible.
Like that.
All right, viewers, we've been discussing ways to perhaps empower women financially, and we've been doing this with our amiable guests. Well, we're going to short break right now, and when we return, Engendered continues. To stay with us.
Where technology is
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. If you just joined us, this is the Engendered show, showing you right on Captain TV, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Before we went on the break, we were discussing a very important topic with our wonderful guest in the studio, which says female empowerment, connecting women with financial resources, key to eradicating poverty. In our guest voice, when you train a woman, you train a nation. Now, empowering women is very pertinent when it comes to the national economy. Trust me, when this is done, it will accelerate progress in the country. Now, ma'am, can you take us through some platforms that are available for women to access financial empowerment? Yeah.
Okay. You know, this our question and answer, we're juggling and all that. You know, I think I mentioned some organizations, like I said, the microfinance banks and institutions give such credit to women. We also have Women World Banking, Nigeria. Those agencies give that too, you know. So, you know, Development Bank, where you have women entrepreneurship program, you have the Tony Elumelu Foundation that I mentioned earlier. So those ones, you have the African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum. Such organizations give women facilities and all that. I told you about the crowdfunding. You can do that. Group of people come, put funds together and do. I told you about the angel investor. Those are the areas too that there's so many of them. You know, corporate women empowerment programs, they're all over. So it's just for the women entrepreneurs. And the beautiful thing is that on LinkedIn, people underestimate the power of that network. You go there, you see all manners. Certain things are even free. They will be advertising, see organizations that are advertising for, if you qualify or you meet this criteria, apply. So I advise women, especially the educated ones, to be on this platform. Look out for organizations that give this. They under United Nations, there are sub agencies under UN that help women. There's this UN Women too. What they do is sometimes they identify even the bigger NGOs and partner with them so that they will take this thing down to the needed audience. So there are many. They're there, they're available, they're even in this country.
Okay, sometimes when you call this perhaps sourcing platforms, it might just seem as though it's audio and not realistic, because we had a guest in the house, a business tycoon recently that is into international exports and the likes, and she said although currently she has banks at her beck and call, calling for loans, they want to give her loans, but when she started, it was not that way. She had to struggle and juggle, and perhaps maybe at the end of the day, it was just crowdsourcing that helped her. In terms of capital for women, what's the best way you would advise women go about getting capital that could help them start up their businesses?
Yes, I've said, like those startups, you must have what they call, you must have a mentor. You must have a supervisor that can help mention your name where it matters, that can give you referrals and say, okay, tell them you're coming from Dr. Celestina Eke. If you're going to people that believe in me, that trust my credibility, they're giving you on my stand that for the sake of Dr. Celestina, we're trusting this to you. Those happens. You must identify these women that have really done well. Let them refer you. But because if you don't have, most banks will ask you for collateral. If you don't have it, it's a problem. That's why I celebrated these women that are CEOs of banks now. We are trusting God that they will be able to bring in products that will help all these startups to get funds. Ordinarily, it's actually very difficult, apart from other means that I've just mentioned to you that you can get funds from. So starting up from nowhere without any capital is pretty difficult. That's why you should start small. Start small and grow the business. You just have to start small. By the time people trust you, if you watch all these fashion designers that are all over the whole place, are doing very well. You see, that's the beauty of social media. These women, some of them are in their houses, but because they showcase what they are doing and people are seeing it, they're having more patronage, people are buying their products, they've now moved from that small space they were and moved to a bigger place. So for my sincere advice to women is that leverage every platform that can showcase you. If you don't tell your story, nobody will do it for you.
That's true.
If you don't showcase your product, I wouldn't know that you can sell beautiful fabrics. So find out where you can display these things. Tell your friends when they wear your product or when they buy your goods, they should say it's from Dr. Celestina Eke. So because the next thing you're buying. I've bought so many things online without knowing them, but because I saw it and it was nice, and I checked who is following such persons and identified some of them are my friends. I said, can you guarantee that this product is good? They said, good. Some will tell you, don't even go there, there's scam and all that. So you must network. You must communicate. You see, over there, it's not really easy. Most people resist you. We'll keep pushing. Some people won't even believe in you. Yes, some people have already have this class distinction. We don't talk to small girls, don't talk to big girls. Go among that your circle of small girls and identify who wants what you want. You grow from there. And the big people, one day, one of the big women will see you and find something interesting about you and want to mentor you free of charge. We have a mentoring program. He said I shouldn't advertise them, but I'm itching to talk about them.
Yes, please talk about
mentorship. I'm itching to talk about Wimbase.
Yes, talk about
Wimbase is a big platform where you see all this happen. We have a mentoring program that would start on Saturday. So the mentors, mentee, this is even board mentorship. That where we prepare women to be the best, to be in the boards. And do you know that most of these organizations, when they want to look for female board-ready members, they come to Wimbase. Please, we need 2 women that are specialists in journalism. We need 2 women that are good in risk management. So we'll go to our pool and fish these women, and they're grateful. Most of these top executives I'm mentioning about, thanks to WIMBIS. So they're there. I spoke about Big Sister program. Is WIMBIS, I'm not speaking for WIMBIS, but I'm just telling you because I have to make reference to what they do. The impact they're having on the society is enormous. You are telling me about the International Women's Day you watched in Abuja. WIMBIS said go, the whole world, the whole women are there to attend. So in that circle, in that conference, in that meeting, you will see a lady. I love her shoes. Where did you get it from? It's Kemi that did it. Kemi, she here. You exchange numbers. You connect. So you must come out. You must network. You must network. I remember when I joined WIMBIS, every year I travel to Lagos for conference. Even when I don't have money, I just want to be there. I want to just feel the atmosphere of elegant women, beautiful, successful women. Their aura alone makes you feel good. Okay? So my advice to women is that identify this. There's one going on in Dubai now. That is extreme, but for people that can afford it. But if you are that kind of class, if you're in that clout, you travel, meet these internationally acclaimed women. But everything is WIMBIS. And in the NIQS Foundation, what we do, we're not big, but we try to educate women how to source these funds, how to get mentors. We pair people. We see you, okay, get a professor from any university and say, okay, you do this with such a person. So there's partnership we're running with a university, a big university in Nigeria. An international organization wants to fund them, but they needed a partner to bridge the gap. And then IQS Foundation came. What did we do? We sourced for girls for them to train. They wanted to know about women in construction. So we now went to all the universities that they are doing quantity surveying, they are doing engineering, they are doing architecture and building, and brought them together, and today they're happy. Yeah. So you need to network.
Okay, still talking about mentorship now. Most times, women, young ladies, are often they often dread having fellow women, perhaps as mentors, because there's this notion that women are they are difficult. When women are placed in high positions, they are inaccessible. They become very difficult. They don't talk to you properly. They are rude. They are this and that. So they would rather not even have a mentor than go meet a woman to mentor.
It's a wrong notion. It's really wrong. I have what they call tough love. I don't know how to paint talk. I'll tell you, you're beautiful, and I mean it. But I'm trying to learn that diplomacy to tell you. But if I'm mentoring you, I will tell you heads on that this is how I am. We're going to get it right. Maybe because of my background of being always in the midst of men. So you need to toughen up. So it's not true. If you're going into mentorship, your mentor and mentee thing, come with an open mind. Come with an open mind to learn, because the idea is not to come and judge who is mentoring you. Moreover, you are not friends. You are just he's a mentor. Exactly. It can grow from there, but for the purpose of what you came for, I want to mentor you on how to do flowers. I want to mentor you on how to be a leader in the society. I want to mentor you on how to be a woman in the construction industry. I want to mentor you on how to be a woman in the financial industry. What is your problem with my personal life, or how I look, or how I do? The idea is keep your eyes on the ball. Keep your eyes on getting something from me. So it's not that women are difficult. It's not as if you're not going to have problems, or you're not going to quarrel. You're not going to. It happens. Even in the board, once in a while we bicker and talk and get angry. But at the end of the day, we're friends. So you disagree to agree. So young ladies should stop being scared. Like these organizations that I mentioned that have mentorship program, it's a program. It's a program that they dedicate time, resources, get the best of leaders all over in all fields to mentor. So I take, for example, I'm going to be a mentor in the program of this year. You know what they're going to do? They're going to look for look at my profile, look at the mentee profile, and pair somebody in my line. So I'll be able to speak with authority in regards to that. They don't bring you, but if it's on general thing, as a woman, you can mentor. I have the person I mentored last year, wonderful girl, she's doing well. Every time she's telling me, Dr. Eke, if not for you. And I'm like, if not for you too, I learned something from you. So it's a two-way thing. Don't think there's only a mentor that needs to teach you. The mentee teaches us. I was listening to one of the International Women Conference in Lagos. Their fire chat. The lady said that the person that encouraged her to be or to do what she did was a younger staff. Somebody that is almost like 6 to 10 years older than her. So it's not that you must be older that you mentor.
When it comes to financial inclusion or financial decision making, gender inequality is a serious issue. Now, how can we advocate for gender equality, and what legal frameworks can we deploy in order to address this issue?
Political will, political will, political will. The legal framework is, you see, on a broader scale, for them to legislate on certain things. Because, I mean, if something is a law, people definitely keep to it. So if you watch my famous organizations that I talk about so proudly, they have an arm that deals with politics. So they go to that round talking about inclusivity, how women should be included. So when you get that political aspect done and is ingrained in the constitution or executive order, whatever you call it, that can happen. That's one. Secondly, many organized private sectors are becoming sensitive to women. I don't want to write it all wrong that it's becoming difficult. It was difficult before, but there's now awareness. People have spoken out. People have sticked out their neck to make sure women are included. We just talked about the issue of the CEOs of top banks in Nigeria. It's because some men that believed in the women gave them a chance. So I want us to disabuse our minds that it's not possible. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, as we round up, you're in a rare career, the survey, engineering, construction, and the likes. Do you get to face challenges? Of course, everyone faces challenges. And how do you, so that our viewers who are out there can learn, how do you perhaps maneuver?
The challenges even started from school. Because in my class then, in ABU, we were 3 girls, then 2 didn't follow us as we were going. The challenges, I'll give you a typical example. We had an inspection on top of the roof. So the boys were like, no, don't go, you're a woman, don't go. I said, are you going to give me my grade? So I managed, I climbed the roof. That hurdle, you started fighting from beginning. Then get to workplace. I've told you, I'm always working with men because of the nature of my job. So they will undermine you. They will not believe that you can do it. So what do you do as a woman? If they are going to sleep, if it takes them 1 hour to read, please read for 2 hours. And there's no harm in asking questions. Identify the people that are better than you in that profession. Look up to them, ask questions. I have numerous people I looked up to in my profession. I was telling a colleague of mine that said, you got qualified so fast. I said, yes. From university, I started attending the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors conferences. There's no president I've not come across as of the time I was up to. Don't be afraid. Go up to them and tell them that this is your interest and this is what you need to do. So that's the only way to break this thing. But whether there is bias, whether people are going to not believe you're going to do it, it's happening even as big as I am. There's still these challenges of not giving you a chance to do certain jobs or to do it. But you have to fight your way through. So it's something you have to keep doing. Don't keep quiet. Complain, speak out. Identify people that can listen to you and make a case and complain the issue. So that's the only way.
All right then. In terms of educating, because we must not leave aside the people who dwell or reside in the rural areas. In terms of bringing them into the, because you spoke about social media, the role of social media, it takes one who is perhaps educated to use social media. How then do we bring them involved in terms of financial inclusion before we go?
Tough one, but you'll be shocked that the social media is everywhere now because of the reach of telecommunications. The rural areas have even better service sometimes. So you just
That's true though.
Yes,
Yes.
sometimes. So you just have to educate them on the use. But the beauty of technology is that some of them are user friendly. Kids, have you watched a child navigating phone? You keep wondering who taught this child. So it's just a guide. It's just to mold. It's just to direct them in the right path for them to be able to make use of this social media if it gets to the localities. But if it does not, it's this cluster of people that have taken it upon themselves to educate these children. There's one I saw in the platform that sent me a private chat that they are doing a menstruation for young girls in the villages. You know, so such an NGO, you support them. You don't have to be the one that is there. Somebody have already agreed to go to the villages and do this thing. Find way of supporting, means of supporting. That goes for financial inclusion too. By the time you not teach them how to do, you know, they do all these things that you collect money. One person collect, okay, we rotate. You know, next month you thrift. Next month you collect, another person collects. That's banking, but in a different form. So it will get to them.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Dr. Celestina Nkechi Eke, PhD, founder, NIQS, MNI. It's been a wonderful time with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, it's been a wonderful time. I hope you've taken a thing or two. For me, the one thing I picked here is that I could also empower people out there. It doesn't have to be directly for me, but it could also be passive by advocating with someone I know, through connections and networking. Indeed, it's been a wonderful time. I am Victoria Agbi.
Women should be empowered financially so that they can become independent economically. And once this is done, trust me, progress will be accelerated within their area and also that of the society at large. Many thanks for joining us on the Engendered show today. I remain Confidence Rueben. Bye for now.